this angel devil on the shoulder of von Trier. And it's a really amazing portrait of an artist, because this artist's art is murder. But what I absolutely love about the movie is that it culminates in this 20-minute finale that I did not see coming. And it's probably his most transcendent and beautiful sequence he's ever done, Lars von Trier. Like, think about the opening and closing of Melancholia, and it's that level of gorgeous beauty.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta watch this and take a bath.
Yes.
Then
maybe watch the R-rated cut.
Yeah, and then put on like Tomb Raider 2018, because that movie's just like I like that movie a lot. It's just nice and light. It's a happy movie for me.
If you're on the wavelength that like Lars von Trier is a provocateur and is trying to work something out himself and is using these horrors and this brutality with a purpose, it keeps the movie from being as nihilistic as the character.
Gasper, no. He said he watched it and was just laughing. Like, he seemed to be on the wavelength of it.
I am ashamed at how much I was laughing during this movie, because I just kind of got what he was going for.
All right.
Because I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person.
All right, number 4. And Zach, since this ranked highly on both of our lists, I would have been totally happy if number 4 was number 1 on our list. And that's crazy, but I would have been I wouldn't have minded if the averages worked out and Unfriended Dark Web was number 1 on our list.
Yes, Unfriended.
So when
this was a sleeper.
Yeah, when I asked you to do the pod with me, I kind of wrote this movie off, but I looked on your letterbox just to kind of see what horror movies you like, so I could watch those, so we could all have something to talk about. Rented this movie, and this hit me hard, man. The whole subplot with the guy with his deaf girlfriend, and that hit me really hard, dude. I like that kid, and I like the girlfriend. I like their performance, and I like the characters in it. I mean, I could have cared less about the logistics of the dark web and how they can travel. I didn't give two snots about. I keep saying snot a lot today. I didn't give two shits about that. I just really got into the characters, man. And then this movie is dark. This is a mean little movie, but it stuck with me, man. It really did. Even the first Unfriended stuck with me. That lead character, I thought that lead actress in that was good. I thought she was a solid actress, and I liked the crew a lot in this one as well. But I thought the director, Steven Susko, did a really good job on Unfriended Dark Web.
Yeah, I think I love this idea, which is like the new found footage movie is the desktop movie. And we're kind of exploring the visual language of what a desktop movie is with a film like Unfriended, with a film like Searching, which also came out. It didn't make my list because I don't really consider it like a horror movie.
Nah.
But it is also a really good desktop movie. And Unfriended Dark Web, I think the problem a lot of people have, and a problem I had with the original Unfriended is, all right, you have this really amazing device, narrative device, which is the computer screen. You're trapped to a computer screen in Skype, and you can now explore a new language in cinema, like the way a character will type out something they're thinking and then delete it, which says so much more about their character than them saying what they think. All that's great, but I thought all 5 characters were just your standard slasher movie terrible people, and you just kind of wanted them to die because they were kind of jerks.
Yeah.
In that way, like a Final Destination movie, like the latter ones. But Unfriended Dark Web, Steven Susko, who is the writer on the Grudge remake.
Andrea Riseborough.
Yeah.
Right? Is that her? The new one? Or the Sarah Michelle Gellar?
The Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, because there's a new Grudge being remade with Andrea Riseborough in it.
Oh, maybe he's the writer on that too. I don't know. But he was writer on the original remake.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, man. The original remake. But I believe this is his first film, his first directorial film, and he makes these characters genuine people. Mm-hmm. Like Betty Gabriel, who is amazing in Get Out.
And she's an upgrade, too.
And an upgrade. She must have some kind of like contract with Blumhouse.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
But
and her partner in this movie too, she was really good as well.
She's very good.
Yeah.
No one in this movie is a despicable person, except not even like the dark web person they first meet. You kind of see where they're coming from when the shit goes down.
Yep.
It makes the deaths that much more impactful, and it allows them to explore the language, this new language that they're using, this new narrative device, with people you care about. And also, it's not a supernatural movie. The first one was originally, when it was touring the festival circuit, was called Cybernatural, which I thought was a way better title.
Yeah.
than Unfriended. But Unfriended Dark Web, there's nothing supernatural going on. It is a really upsetting film about that kind of borders on that slasher movie idea or a home invasion movie where this is scary because it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is scary because people are kidnapped and filmed, and there is a dark web, and there could be a kind of underground snuff market for these kinds of things. It would make a very interesting double feature with Cam.
Yeah, for sure. It's just
because.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Oh no, go for it.
I like what you said. Maybe I hadn't thought this through, but I love how I don't like the Final Destination movies where you don't like the people and the only excuse for them existing is to die. I never like that because maybe I'm just different. I don't like going to movies where you just want to see people get killed. Obviously people die in horror movies, but I guess I don't want to cheer for people dying. Does that make sense?
Right. No, it makes perfect sense.
I hate this guy. He's dead. Ha ha ha. I don't like that.
Oh, good. They're going to die. I feel satisfied.
Yeah, I don't like that. And so this movie, man, I don't care, but the whole subplot, like with the guy and his girlfriend, and she's come to meet him, I was on the edge of my seat.
Now, which ending did you watch? Because I had a different ending in my theater.
I had, well, I guess I had the normal one. Do we want to... screw it. They all die. But just when the innocent, she was going to meet him, and then she gets taken into that warehouse. Like man, that movie, it hit me really hard.
It hurts.
Yeah, and it's not pretty. The death is ugly. Man, what a sleeper. You know, I think I like this and Strangers so much because they were sleepers for me.
Yeah. And they're sequels to pretty good original films. I like Strangers a lot, but you don't expect much from them. And they actually improve in some ways on the originals.
Love them. Hey, Zach, guess what we're into now?
Is it top three?
Top three. Top three time. Very strong top three, I might add. This top three, if we presented this to a horror aficionado, they would be like, yeah, I get it. Any aficionado on the street. But yeah, it's all right. That doesn't say a lot about our thing. All right, so number 3 is Revenge, starring a very game Matilda Anna Ingrid Lutz and a very sleazeball Vincent Colombe playing Stanley, straight up dirtbag. This movie, man, it sticks with you. Has the best beer can Phoenix tattoo of 2018. I'll tell you that.
And there were a lot, so that's saying something.
I mean, yeah, this. I loved the one in Incredibles 2. So Green Book. Holy crap, man! Vincent, the one on.
That one was a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
The beer can. It's like, what? You never had the black beer can? Come on.
So one guy's like, man, Mario is going to get nominated for Best Actor. So this movie, man, like, you're really directed by Coralie. I wish I could say her name. Fargeau. Farget, yeah.
Whatever.
But she crushes.
We're
movie.
American, damn it.
American. I didn't bother using YouTube to hear her name pronounced before on like an interview. But man, this movie I love a good daytime horror movie. I think the bright colors, the open expanse. And what I like most about this movie is, even though it's expansive, there's still a weird claustrophobia to it. It's like open spaces, but she's still trapped in this spot. And I liked the ugliness of the action scenes and how people step on the worst things, or they, like, just people stepping on things hurts. And at the end, you have the naked guy, and as opposed to like a naked woman. Like, you have like the subversion of that. It just exists on another plane, and it's just a good revenge movie named Revenge.
Yeah, it's kind of a French international co-production because some of it's in French, some of it's in English. I think most of it's in English, but the thing about this movie, it does harken back to the like late 2000s French New Extreme of martyrs and high tension and that kind of like heightened gore and brutality.
Inside.
But Revenge is one of the few rape revenge films, which is its own subgenre, directed by a woman.
Yeah.
And it's also another one of these, this and The Ranger, directed by Jen Wexler. They're both these like amazingly visual, colorful, saturated, trippy films about horror and with both with female leads. And it's I don't know what the connection is between them, but it's an interesting thing that is related to both those films. And the use of saturation, like the orangeness of the desert with the blueness of the sky, and the buckets and buckets of blood that come out of everyone. And I called it a mad peyote-induced inversion of a rape revenge film.
Yes, I love that. And it's
because she takes peyote and it like goes off the rails from that point on.
And the beer can Phoenix tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she straight up gets impaled. Holy crap! But this is gonna sound like the most obvious statement ever. But with Patty Jenkins directing Wonder Woman, and then you had a female directing a rape revenge movie. They're just so much better when they're female directed. I love Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman, and I think Patty Jenkins and her were just on the same wavelength, and they got that character so much more. And that kind of happened with this movie as well. I know it's overly obvious that I'm saying that, but it's about time, because they make better movies, in my opinion.
Time's up, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, about right. I mean, it's just, you watch, I don't know. I love this movie. Like you said, the bright colors. There's just a super kind of high depth feel to it, crisp feel. Also some very memorable scenes where she goes after the gun, and one of the hunters is like, it's empty. I just knew I could trap my prey like that. You establish, so this guy is just this weird fella, but then you establish that he's a very good hunter. I mean, this is it's interesting seeing the male entitlement of the main guy. Then you have the two other men who are, you danced on me, so this must mean that. Just the cruelness of it. And then the way, I like the ugliness of the action scenes too. You're watching these and you're like, oh my gosh, people slipping on blood, people stepping on the weirdest stuff. I mean, just ugly, ugly action scenes. But that's what I liked, and it's very visceral. And I don't know about you, Zach, but I forget about most movies I watch. And I have to be reminded that I watch them when I see them on TV. And I'm like, oh yeah, I watched that. But this movie's never left me.
Yeah, it's full of these like really outlandish gore scenes that kind of transcend the reality that they're portraying. And it culminates in this crazy, memorable scene in which the main antagonist is completely naked after, being left alone in the desert, driving back, taking a shower, and then he is being hunted. So he's walking around that house with a shotgun, completely naked. And then we have this amazing scene in which they're chasing after each other through the same hallway in circles.
Yeah.
And it becomes this very blatant yonic imagery. Yeah. of like birth, rebirth, and who's going to go back into the womb, out of the womb. And it's bloody and it's full of like ridiculous amounts of like no